Okay, guys, full disclaimer real quick. If you're not currently generating leads, please do not waste your time watching this video. Like, it's just going to be a ton, like a ton of overwhelming information that literally is not going to affect your business in any way. You know, if you're bored and you just want to look at something new, well, I guess, we can welcome that as well. And thanks for tuning in. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. As you can see, there's no new leads currently. And I'm going to show you why I'm sharing that with you here in just a second, but we're going to create a new Zap. I'm going to show you guys how to zap your Facebook leads. So again, if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you have an active Facebook page that you're currently running in a budget for, and you're running ads, or that you just have an active budget for and you're running ads, and you're looking to automate your Facebook leads into the CRM. So that way you don't have to manually, download your lead sheet and enter that information in by hand. So the first step, this is pretty cool, by the way. I just want to share it with you guys. This, you can prompt it by AI. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. I've never actually used this. So let's say new lead from Facebook, reformat to automate to CRM. Let's see what happens. I've never used it, but it should give us the tiles to trigger that zap. If not, no worries. I have this pretty much down to a T. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty accurate, honestly. But there is a couple steps missing, and then there's also we don't use customer.io. So let's not try it. Let's get serious. So we're gonna come here. This is gonna be the trigger, right? So we need to have the trigger be once we get a new lead from Facebook. What you're going to do is choose the page that you want Zapier to link to on Facebook. Let's see. Account. Choose account. Okay. We'll use this account. And I'll keep it at default any form. And let's just use this for an example. Hit continue. And all it's going to do is pull a random lead that I've generated before, just to kind of use it as test data, like a dummy lead, if that makes sense. So they have a lead A with some dummy data in here, the page it came from, phone number, email, state. Yeah. Honestly, kind of want something with a little bit more data on it. We'll see what happens though. So now you've successfully connected your Facebook page to Zapier. Go ahead and name the Zap too. Name it just DBGA CRM Zap or something, right? Cool. So now go ahead and continue with the selected record. And now it's just asking you, okay, we've connected it to Facebook. What do you want to do next? So next, what you're going to want to do is you want a function called utilities. And shout out to my man's Brian Dillon for showing me this, because without this, I would have been stuck in the past. Utilities is actually going to be for the numbers, so it's going to be a formatter. My apologies. You want the formatter. So step 2 should be formatter, and then you're going to work with utilities. Okay, so hit continue, and what you're going to do is you're going to create a lookup table. So we need to transform some numbers. So again, hit transform. We are going to transform states into numbers. Okay. So when you're doing this, you kind of want to, you need the lookup key, right? So you want the state from your leads. Okay. Test lead dummy data for the state. So you want to have that document open, right? So go to manage, go to leads, go to import leads, and then you want the instructions here because it's going to tell you what the headers are and what fields need to be for what states. So you're going to come in here, and for all the states that you're licensed in, you're going to actually type the value and the state right next to it. So Alabama is AL, and that's going to be 1. Then you're going to add the next state. AK is 2. This is the most time consuming part, guys. All right, like let's say we're licensed in Arizona. That's 3. All right, where am I getting this from? Right here, Alabama is 1. Use abbreviations because that's how Facebook is probably going to, when you have that as a form fill in your Facebook forms, it's going to ask, what state were you born in, and it'll abbreviate, right? So if it doesn't find a value, what I would do is put the fallback to like Alaska. So I would just like put 2. Because it's rare that, you'll have someone who's in Alaska, right? So like if they refuse to enter the state that they were born in, at least that way it says Alaska, and like they're probably not born in Alaska, right? So that's the fallback value that I use. So I'm going to pretend like I did all 50. Me personally, I would actually put all 50 into that, okay? So now we have the lookup table. We're done with that. And that's going to show us what states. Perfect. So the output would be 2, which means that would be Alaska because the test lead that it pulled didn't have a state. That's why I was refreshing it in the beginning because I was trying to get some more data on there. But now we have a fallback number, and it should say once we import these leads, it should actually say that the lead came from Alaska if we did this correctly, okay? So perfect. Now we have that taken care of. The next step is we need to format our phone number, right? So we're going to go back to another formatter, choose the event, and we're going to work with numbers, okay? So hit continue. And we need to format the phone number. So we're just going to click this. The input is going to be from your leads. And I like to use the raw data. So I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to find where the raw phone number would be from Facebook. Yeah, I just don't like how it's doing that. Here, let me find some new data. Yeah, there's just no let me see. Yeah, so I just don't have any leads in there with an actual phone number. So I hope that doesn't make it difficult for you guys to kind of see what's going on here. But at any rate, again, we're going to transform the phone number that Facebook gives us into one that the CRM can read, right? So we'll just use that. And then what I have it set up for is national, right? Because let's go back and look at the data. If you go back on this documentation, it has to be 10 digits in any format from these examples, right? Just straight up with 2 dashes or with the hyphen and 1 dash. So this is the national number, and this is the most, the one that works for me. The number code is going to be United States. Valid phone number, always check yes on there. And then hit continue. Test step, which it's likely, it's just not going to, there's no number. But if you had a lead, right, it would give you a number. So no worries there. And then the next step is going to be the first name and the last name, because Facebook gives you full names. So again, this is going to be another format. And what we're going to format this time is text. So we'll be working with text for the names. And what we're going to do is we're going to split the text. Okay. The input is going to be the raw full name. And your separator, or I'm sorry, you don't need a separator here. You just need a segment. It's going to be the first, which is going to be 0. So it should say first. You don't need a separator here. So hit continue. There's no data, which is fine. If there was a name on this lead, it would say it would separate it to the first name. Okay. And then the last name is the next step. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to share with you like a completed version, and then we'll brief over the completed version after this. I just want to take you step by step first. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go back to format. Okay. Choose an event. We're going to work with text. It's the same exact steps, but this time it's going to be for the last name. All right, so split text. Input the raw full name. Segment is last. Continue. Testing it doesn't matter, there's no data. And then the last step is the post, right? So we'll post it to the CRM. Now, I just want to share with you guys what everything is that we covered before we go over posts really quick so that you can see it in real time. So let me drag this over. And this should give you an idea, right? So we have a new Facebook lead, right? And then what we're going to do is format it for the state. So here we're using utilities. Continue. We're using the raw state. Remember, we use the lookup table to input all the states. So it should look like this. We're going to hit continue. Here's an output. It's 44. The next step is the phone number. We need to make the phone number readable for the CRM. So we're going to use Formatter by Zapier. You're going to choose numbers as the event. Choose the raw phone number. to this format, which will be readable for the CRM. Hit continue, and here's the output. Perfect. Now, the next step is going to be the first name. We're going to separate the text using the split text function. So again, formatter. And then we're going to use text as the event. Hit continue, raw full name. No separator. Segment index is first. Hit continue, and the output is Anthony. Hit continue. Perfect. And the last step for the formatting is the last name. Okay. Now, if you wanted to, you could go a step further if you're getting the date of birth, things of that nature. Also, like premium amounts. Okay. Schedule a call with me if you guys need help with that. That's easy as well, but I'm sure you could figure it out after watching some of these videos, right? So raw full name. Okay. Segment index. I chose second here, but last would work as well. Okay. Continue. Output patent. I just switched it to last so that you could see it would work as well. Okay, so this is the last step, and we haven't covered this yet, but this is how you actually zap it into the CRM, right? If you're watching the how to manage your queue, this is the wizardry part right here. So what you want to do is use webhooks by Zapier, and the event is going to be post. You're going to post this lead to your CRM. A couple of things to take note of here. We're going to need this sheet, right? We need this sheet, but we also need our API user and our API key, okay? So let's look at some instructions on how to API inbound lead post. Here's our post URL and fields. And here's our method, post, right? So what you're going to do is take this URL and copy it from the top. Don't worry about this. Okay, or you can just, copy it however you, if it allows you to copy it that other way. Okay. Then you want to paste it into this field right here. Okay. The payload type is going to be form. It's not a JSON or an XML or nothing like that. It's a form. And then you're going to start inputting some data. Now, guys, I understand this might not be the best way to do it. However, this is the way that I found works for me, and it has never failed me yet. So I'm going to keep doing it this way. And at any rate, what I do is I just use this, it's kind of like the lookup table, right? But you're using it for data. So you're mapping it. So my API user, make sure it matches API_user. And then you just paste that number right here. And here's what it looks like in the CRM. API user, and then here's your user key. Right? If you look at the instructions, it can't just be API space user. It has to be API_user. And then you paste your key next to it. The API key, same thing, right? Full name. Okay. Let's look at, this is the fields, right? We're mapping the field. So full_name, it has to match the way it does on the documentation. You're going to go to new Facebook leads and then hit full name. Right? So I kind of may have just messed that up a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I didn't do that because now it's like not letting me put my actual name in there. There we go. Raw full name. There it is. Perfect. And then what we want though is the output for the first and last name. So now we have first name and last name, which are both required. First name, last name, which are both required in order to successfully zap it in the CRM. Otherwise, you'll have two full names in both the first and last name if you skip this step. So the output is going to be the first name, right? So again, it would be first name. I just labeled mine first name, but yours might say formatter text, right? And then you'll just choose the output. Boom. Same thing for the last name. State, Your state output should be a number. It should not be a state name. It should be a number. The output is what's going to get put into the CRM, right? So our phone number looks good in the national format. Mobile, same thing. And I did something a little cute, if you will. Your website name, okay? If you guys look on here, let's see. Your website name is not required, but just to show you, you can use all of these fields if you want on your Facebook leads and in Zapier if you'd like, right? You just need to figure out what the value would be for that field name. So for example, website name, we're going to use the value has to be text, and some notes are just what's the website name that the lead was generated on. So you can put website name, and then you can put, Anthony Patton Facebook ads. Don't put that. That's just what I'm saying. Like, it's me, right? So it'd be your name, Facebook ads. This is how you want to be able to determine or run reports and stuff like that to see how well your campaigns are going. So maybe you could even name this after the campaign that you've done, right? So wrap request array, no. Unflatten, I just put yes on here. This is really important, guys. This is basic authentication. It's a basic auth here. What you're going to do is use your CRM username and your password. Okay, so yours won't be like this. It'll be your username and your password separated by this. All right, separated by this, little line or whatever. Okay, and that's going to be for your HTTP authentication so that Zapier can log in on your behalf and input the lead for you. Okay, the headers pretty much the same, right? So I know that my leads, I only get the phone, the state they're in, the email, full name, first name and last name. I don't get date of birth. But if I did get date of birth, you would just do the same thing here, right? So date _ birth. And if I had a date of birth field for them to fill out on my form fills on Facebook, it would be under here. But if I needed to format it, then I likely would have used a different output like formatter. And then it would look something like with the two orange squigglies, right? But I would name it date of birth so it could have the correct format, right? What is the correct format for date of birth? Let's take a look. It just needs to look like this. Month, 2 digits for the month, 2 digits for the day, 4 digits for the year. Okay, so I don't have date of birth in here, but let's go ahead and hit continue. We have a successful message. Let's take a look. Hit lead queue. Oh, retest the step really quick. I didn't retest it. Okay, now we have a successful message here, so it should give us a new lead. There it is. The state, the name, mobile phone, home phone, and then the website name, AP, Facebook ads. All right. Thanks, guys.